Thank you, Dr. Stoltenkamp. I must say I feel like a stranger in Jerusalem because I haven't prepared a PowerPoint presentation. However, I have amended my narrative report that's got...
I just looked at it now.
That wasn't me. I've amended my narrative report that I submitted for the scholarship on engagement report. So I will speak to that. But essentially, I thought about what we are doing in the faculty within the context of learning, teaching, and community engagement in the focus of the faculty's mission, which is really to prepare students across the various spheres for the changing world of work. And for the purposes of this colloquium, I was asked to think about the challenges of the pandemic, or how the challenges of the pandemic were transformed into opportunities and innovation in relation to our learning, teaching, and community engagement. I think as I thought about the dawn of the pandemic in South Africa in March 2020, it reminded me of the chaos, the fears, and the anxieties, but also that we were forced to think strategically very, very quickly. And I think as a university, quite a big organization, we should be lauded for this achievement. For me, this brought to the fore the attributes of resilience and flexibility of human beings that keep us moving forward, especially in times of crisis and uncertainty. With regard to our faculty, we implemented plans for flexible learning and teaching, which is a key focus area to keeping our university sustainable and viable. And what I observed in this regard was staff rallying together and employing their God-given talents and experiences to ensure that our students, who are central stakeholders from our communities, were able to complete the academic year. More specifically, and with reference to the kinds of community engagement activities that we are involved in, we maintained our focus of striving to be a faculty of impact through our Math for EMS project, which was a project that was initiated around 2019. And we acknowledge that the math criterion is a challenging one for many of our students to meet, and hence it becomes exclusionary for students who are very keen to pursue a BCom qualification but are not able to meet with a minimum math requirement. In this regard, we're also very aware that the challenges that our students face with regards to engaging with quantitative modules are not necessarily challenges that start at university level, but have its roots within basic education. And so we decided to partner with one of the high schools and support the educators in terms of offering mathematics in preparation for qualifications, and qualifications more specifically within our faculty. So whilst we started off face-to-face, the pandemic had forced us to think differently, and we are now very pleased that we've been able to continue with that project in a virtual context, and through the assistance of Professor Dr. Stoltenkamp, we will be providing or presenting the support through our learning management site. We also managed to launch our small business clinic virtually in collaboration with our DVC academic and within the broader context of zone learning at UWC. The clinic is a central focus of our faculty within the context of being a faculty of impact, where students learn through their experiences. And as has been mentioned by our keynote speaker and several of the other speakers and colleagues, learning through experience doesn't only involve academic staff from universities. In fact, sometimes we find that that may be our shortcoming, in that we may not have the kind of practical experience that others have, and we have more of a theoretical experience. So within this context of the clinic, it involves a community of experts that include academia, corporate or business, the NGO and civil society sectors, and the business owners themselves. In the case of involving the business owners, my view is that there is such value in the stories of business owners vis-a-vis the learnings of our students, and how these stories contribute to the development of students' knowledge within our context, and with reference to entrepreneurship, and the students' interest in pursuing opportunities in the sector towards becoming job creators as opposed to job seekers competing for a very, very limited supply of jobs. The stories of our communities in the business sector, I believe, are significant not only to our learning and teaching approach, but also in how we partner towards finding solutions that affect the small and micro enterprise sector. And it is the faculty's hope that as we gain momentum within the context of this pilot space of the small business clinic, that we will more and more start seeing the evidence of the engagement that happens across sectors and between relevant and significant stakeholders. We did not only in this time of the pandemic focus on learning and teaching within that context of community engagement, but we also focused on the other strategic goal areas through alternative and unfamiliar pathways within the context of the faculty being a faculty of impact. In this regard, collaboration, partnerships, and engagements as a significant goal area for the faculty was pursued. And I was very pleased as I reflect on, the kinds of collaborations and partnerships and engagements that we were able to establish in this time of the pandemic. And so as I reflect on that, I also realized that even COVID-19 has a silver lining. The faculty hosted several webinars that facilitated discussion among significant stakeholders, and in some instances, we were able to secure the time of ministers of national ministries, which we may not have been able to accomplish if we had been operating face-to-face, but more especially, we were able to bring together people to engage with key themes that relate to the faculties, namely entrepreneurship and ICTs. And so for our faculty, webinars proved extremely useful in bringing relevant and key stakeholders together from across academia, business, the NGO sector, and also owners of small businesses, as I mentioned earlier. The faculty was even able to host its annual Women's Month event virtually through several webinars that had as an overarching focus the focus on financial and other support to micro enterprises. So as I conclude, I say I agree that the pandemic was and still is dreadful, and it's traumatic. We have experienced much loss of loved ones, loss of our finances and financial security, loss of businesses. But through the pandemic, I believe we have come out stronger, showing our resilience, adaptability, kindness, cooperation, and compassion for others. And so looking back, it may not have been easy to adapt to a different way of delivering on our key objectives with reference to learning, teaching, and community engagement, but it turned out to be possible. Thank you.